Muted.
Hello everyone and welcome to your Newton Hiring Manager training. My name is Justin. I'm your Customer Success Manager here at Newton, and I've been asked by Appella to spend some time with you today and walk you through Newton. For those of you who may not be familiar with Newton, we're your new applicant tracking software. We've recently worked with your HR team to get your company set up with a new careers page that's now connected to your website. Applicants can now apply to jobs directly through your website, after which their information will be stored in Newton. This is where the hiring process will start. First, Appella will do the initial review of new applicants. If she believes that the applicant could be a good fit, she'll send you an email called a review request asking for your feedback. You will then review that email and decide if you want to move forward with the candidate and schedule a phone screen or interview, or if you want to pass on them. The goal of our call today is to review what happens when an applicant applies to one of your positions, how you'll provide feedback, and how you'll assist in driving the applicant through the hiring process. We'll start here on our Newton Software homepage. It's a good point of reference for everyone and an easy URL to remember, newtonsoftware.com. For those of you fans of bookmarking, you may want to bookmark this page. In the top right corner, you'll find the blue login button where you access Newton. And Newton has been built as a responsive website, so with that in mind, you can log in on any device, whether that's your computer, smartphone, or tablet, and Newton will respond and format according to that device. With that in mind, there's no need to download an app or anything like that. For the sake of today's training, I'm going to be taking on the role of a fictitious hiring manager. I'm not going to be using your actual account for this training because I don't want to start moving around your applicants, because that would ruin your analytics, and Appella and the folks in HR might not be too happy with me about that. So we'll move over to my Outlook inbox here. Looks like I've received some review requests for the Director of Marketing position that I'm a hiring manager for. When you receive these review request emails from Newton, it means your feedback and response is needed. We like to think of them as a call to action. So we'll take a look at the first one I've received here. These review request emails will have the candidate's resume and potentially their application and any other supporting documentation that Appella wants you to take a look at. You can open them directly from the email here, and then you'll want to click on the candidate's name in the body of the email, which is a hyperlink, and that'll prompt you to log into Newton. And then after doing so, you'll be taken directly to the candidate's profile. Sounds like I received a message that you're having trouble seeing my screen. Are you able to
see it now? We can see now.
Okay, great. So after clicking on the candidate's name in the body of the review request email, you'll be taken directly to the candidate's profile in Newton. And on the right-hand side of the profile, you'll see the candidate's resume. We use a document viewer for resumes, so if there are any formatting issues here, don't blame your friends in HR. What you see is how the applicant formatted their resume. If you're collecting an application and any other sort of supporting documentation, that'll be reflected here on its own tab in the document viewer. On the left-hand side of the candidate profile, you'll see all the interactions that have occurred thus far. And this history section is where we store any comments, notes, and emails that are sent. At the top, between the green and red button, you'll find a series of stages that make up the hiring process. So we're taking a look at Dolly here, and she looks like she could be a good fit for this position. I want to schedule a phone screen with her. Something we like to say at Newton is if you drove to work today, you can use Newton because green means go and red means no. So I want to move forward with Dolly and schedule a phone screen. So green means go, so I'm going to click on the green button here, and here I can leave a comment. After I click Save, you'll see that my comment is stored here in the History section on the candidate profile. Now I need to reach out to Dolly to get her availability to schedule this phone screen. If you prefer to call your candidates, click on the Information button in the top left corner of the candidate profile. That'll bring up the candidate info, including their phone number, and go ahead and give them a call. If you prefer to reach out to candidates via email, you can do so by clicking on the paper airplane icon in the upper right-hand corner of the candidate profile. That'll open our email client. You could just go ahead and type out an email here, but your account has been pre-populated with a number of helpful email templates. So I'm going to use my email template for phone screen availability, since I'm looking for Dolly's availability to schedule a phone screen. And that'll pull in our phone screen availability template requesting her availability over the next few business days. You can add some additional notes. You can even customize these email templates to make them your own. We'll go over that a little bit more. We'll go over that later in the training. So now I've selected my email template. Now I just need to drag and drop the candidate's email in the To field. And once I've taken those 2 steps, I'll click Send. So now I've sent an email to Dolly requesting her availability to schedule a phone screen. Let's do a quick review of responding to these review request emails. So after Appella has done the initial review of an applicant, and she wants you to take a look at them, you'll receive a review request email. These emails will have the candidate's resume and potentially some other supporting documentation attached. You can open those from here. And then you want to click on the candidate's name. That is a hyperlink in the body of the email. After doing that, that'll take you directly to the candidate's profile in Newton. You can view their resume and application and any other documentation you're collecting when candidates apply on the right-hand side in the document viewer. On the left-hand side, you'll see the history section where we store all comments and emails that are sent here. And then after reviewing Hugh, I wanted to, it looks like he could be a good fit. I want to schedule a phone screen with him. So, since I want to move forward and green means go, I will click on the green button here. That'll move him into the schedule phone screen stage where I can leave a comment. Once I click Save, you'll see my comment is stored here in the History section on the candidate profile. Now I'm going to give Hugh a call to get his availability, so I'm going to click on the Information button in the upper left-hand corner, which will open the candidate info window. Includes his phone number, so I can go ahead and give him a ring. I got his voicemail, so I want to reach out via email. So I'm going to click on the paper airplane icon in the upper right-hand corner. Select the appropriate email template. So I'm looking for his availability to schedule a phone screen. I'm going to use the phone screen availability template, and then drag and drop the candidate's email into the To field. After I've taken those 2 steps of selecting the email template and drag and drop the candidate's email in the To field, I'll click Send. And now I've sent an email to Hugh requesting his availability to schedule a phone screen. Once you've logged into Newton, I suggest taking a look in your left navigation in the Request section. If you have greater than 0 applicants to review, that'll be reflected here and you're not done. We think this is such a critically fundamental part of the process that you'll always find your remaining review requests noted here in the Request section on your left navigation. In order to review the remaining candidates, click on the Next button in the upper right-hand corner of the candidate profile. And that'll take us to our candidate profile for our next candidate here, Leanne. At Newton, we understand that you're not always going to want to move candidates from one stage to another. There may be some scenarios where you need to skip a stage. For instance, after reviewing Leanne here, she looks like she could be an ideal fit for this Director of Marketing position. I do not want to miss this opportunity, and I want to bring her in for an interview. So, in order to do that, I will skip the phone screen stage, select interview, and then schedule interview to move her into the schedule interview stage. Then I'm going to leave a note. And after I click save, you'll see I've now moved Leanne into the schedule interview stage, and my comment is stored here in the history section on the candidate profile. Now I need to reach out to Leanne to get her availability to bring her in for an interview. I'm going to give her a call, so I'm going to click on the information button in the upper left-hand corner. We'll bring up the candidate info window, including her phone number, where I can go ahead and give her a ring. I got her voicemail, so I'm going to reach out via email. So in order to send her an email, I'm going to click on the paper airplane icon in the upper right-hand corner, and then select the appropriate email template. Since I'm looking for Leanne's availability to come in for an interview, I'm going to use the interview availability template. And that's going to bring in our interview availability template requesting her availability over the next 4 business days. Then I'm going to drag and drop the candidate's email in the to field, and after I've taken those 2 steps, I'm going to click send. So now I have moved Leanne into the schedule interview stage and sent her an email requesting her availability to come in for that interview. And you'll see that email I sent is stored here in the history section on the candidate profile. Looks like I have some more review requests to take a look at, so I'm going to click on the next button in the upper right-hand corner, which will take me to the candidate profile for our next candidate here, Edna. We know that you're not always going to want to move forward with every candidate that you receive a review request for. And so if you do not want to move forward with a candidate and you want to pass on them, remember that red means no. So we'll select inactivate the red inactivate this candidate button. And your HR team has already predefined reasons for passing on an applicant. You cannot pass just for the sake of passing. So you'll need to select the appropriate reason for non-selection, and include some helpful calibration notes for HR. They've done the initial review of this candidate and sent you a review request. They thought they might be a strong candidate, so help them help you. But be careful what you write here since it is tracked, so be sure to keep it professional and constructive. And if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. So I've selected to inactivate Edna here and chose my reason for non-selection. Now I'm going to provide my professional and constructive feedback here. And then once I click save, I've now inactivated this candidate, provided my reason for non-selection, and now HR can reach out and send them a thank you note. You'll want to continue to click on the next button in the upper right-hand corner until you've reviewed and provided feedback on all the candidates you received a review request for. You'll notice that the left-hand and top of your screen, you have a lot of navigation. Feel free to click around and check things out. You're not going to break anything. You're not going to delete or email your entire database. What I want to show you next is your home dashboard. This is what our product team likes to refer to as air traffic control for hiring. And you can see why. Your home dashboard will reflect all the jobs that you are assigned to and where each candidate stands in the hiring process. So whenever you have candidates that you are seeing a review request from, they'll be reflected here in the review request stage. If you decide to move forward and schedule a phone screen with them, you'll move them into the schedule phone screen stage. Once they get back to you and you have that phone screen scheduled, you'll move them into the phone screen scheduled stage. If that goes well and you want to move forward in scheduling an interview, you'll move them into the schedule interview stage. And once you have that interview scheduled with the candidate, you'll move them into the interview scheduled stage. And then hopefully at the end of the day, you've got some candidates here in the offer stage you're ready to make an offer to. When you initially log into Newton, the jobs that you're assigned to will simply reflect the job title. However, we can add some more information about these jobs by clicking on Options in the lower right-hand corner. Here we can add the location, job ID, department, and the date the job was activated. You can even specify how many jobs are reflected on each page of your home dashboard, if you're one of those lucky hiring managers responsible for a number of positions, and how they're sorted, whether it's by job title or the date the job was activated. So I'm going to add some more information about my jobs here, so I'm going to choose those and click Save. And now you'll see that my jobs reflect the location, job ID, department, and the date the job was activated here on my home dashboard. Now that you're using Newton as your applicant tracking software, you're also using some of our workflows, one for job approval and another for offer approval. I'll show you how those work here. So whenever you're in the position where you need to open up a new job requisition, you'll log into Newton and select Request Job Approval. That'll open your job approval request form. Yours may look a little bit different, as I am in a demo account here, but the required fields will be noted with a red star, and the optional fields will not. So I want to open up a new office manager position. In our San Francisco office. So I'm going to go ahead and complete my form here. If I tried to move forward without completing a required field, it's going to let me know what that is. So I need a job description for this. So I'm going to grab my job description from my Word document, copy that, paste that into the job description field. And after I do that, you'll want to select Remove All Formatting, and then use our formatting tools here to format our job description. So I want to make this bold, that bold, and I want to add in some bullets here and here. And now this looks good. Looks like I've entered all the information I have for this job, so I'll go ahead and click Next. And this next page will show who this request is being sent to, your approval manager, also your Newton admin. For you, it's going to be Appella, and you can leave her a comment. And then once I click Submit, my job approval request is now sent to Appella. She'll receive an email as well as a request notification in Newton. She'll review that and route that through the necessary approvers in order to obtain that approval. And once it is obtained, she'll be able to activate that job, post it to your careers page, and start recruiting for it. You're also using our workflow for offer approval. So when you're at the point where we're ready to extend an offer to a candidate, from your home dashboard, you'll click on their name, which will take you to the candidate profile. From there, you'll select Offer from the top of their candidate profile and request offer approval. That'll open your offer approval request form. Again, yours may look a little bit different because I am using a demo account, but the required fields will be noted with a red star, and then those that are optional will not. So I'm going to go ahead and complete my offer approval request form. And then once I've completed my form, I'll click Continue. And just like with job approval, the next screen will show you who your request is being sent to. Again, your approval manager for offers will be Appella as well, and you can leave a comment. And once I click Submit, my offer approval request has been submitted, sends an email to Appella, and she'll also receive a new request notification when she logs into Newton. Next, we'll take a look at personal settings, as everyone has them. In order to do that, we'll click on the gear icon in the upper right-hand corner, and first we'll take a look at My Alerts. For your process, you'll want to make sure that you have Alert Me when another user edits one of My Jobs candidates selected. That way, whenever someone makes a change to one of your jobs or candidates within them, you'll receive an alert. And then you'll see there's a section for both job approval and offer approval, where you can know how often you receive notifications around job and offer approval requests that you submit. Next, we'll take a look at account info. This is a set it and forget it section. Feel free to provide your contact information in case we need to get in touch with you. And if you ever want to need to update your password, you can do so here. Next, we'll take a look at email templates. As we saw earlier, you're able to email directly from Newton, and your account has been pre-populated with some helpful email templates. If you want to edit your email templates, come here, select that email template, and make your desired updates. You also have the ability to create new email templates. If there's something that you regularly email candidates or your team about that you want to create an efficiency for, go to the appropriate section, select Create a New Template, give it a name, a subject line, specify if you want any attachments to come along with that email template, and then write out the body of the email. If you scroll down, you'll see there are a number of autofill tokens that you can utilize so that Newton will automatically pull in the appropriate information. All right, I'm going to do one final recap of responding to these review request emails. Then I'll open up the line to answer any questions that arose for you. So, after Appella has done the initial review of a new applicant, she wants you to take a look at them. You'll receive a review request email. These emails will have the candidate's resume and potentially their application, some other supporting documentation attached. You can open from here. And then you'll want to click on the candidate's name in the body of the email, which is a hyperlink, and that'll take you directly to the candidate profile in Newton. On the right-hand side of the candidate profile, you'll find their resume. If you're collecting an application or any other documentation when candidates apply, that'll be reflected here on its own tab in the document viewer. After reviewing Marvin, I want to move forward with him and schedule a phone screen. So green means go, so I'll click on the green button here. And there I can leave a comment. And after I click save, you'll see my comment stored here in the history section on the candidate profile. Remember that Newton has been built to be flexible, so if you ever need to skip stages in the hiring process, you'll just simply select the appropriate stage, and then you can leave a note. And now I need to reach out to Marvin to schedule this interview. So if I want to give him a call, click on the information button in the upper left-hand corner. They'll bring up the candidate info, including their phone number. You can go ahead and give them a ring. I got Marvin's voicemail, so I want to send an email. In order to do that, click on the paper airplane icon in the upper right-hand corner. And then from there, I'll need to select the appropriate email template and then drag and drop the candidate's email into the to field. After I've taken those two steps, I'll click send. And now I sent an email to the candidate requesting availability to schedule an interview. After reviewing a candidate, if you want to pass on them as you don't think they're a good fit for the position, remember that red means no. So you'll click on the red inactivate this candidate button, select the appropriate reason for non-selection, and then provide some professional and constructive feedback as to why you're passing on this candidate. And once I click save, you'll see I've now inactivated this candidate, provided my reason for non-selection, and HR can now reach out and send them a thank you note. And that covers everything I wanted to discuss with you here today. I've taken the line off mute. Does anyone have any questions I can help out with?
Justin, can you give a demonstration of if, because some of the employees that's in the room will be approving in the process, where they do not have to actually log into noon to approve it, they can just do a command. Can you give a demonstration of that?
Sure, let me set something up and I'll go ahead and do that. 1 second, please.
Any other questions while you're getting that done?
I have a question. Like, if we have like a mental health tech position, I guess it really wouldn't apply to me, but would it be sent to multiple?
I can.
Okay. And so I could reject it, but Dorita could choose to.
I already have that with Dorita set up where I can send it out. Because see, when I click to send it out, your email address will already populate right there, and I'll just hit send it.
I guess my question was just if one decides to pass, it doesn't automatically activate it for the other one?
I don't think it does, but I'll have a double check it.
And also, if Dorita is considering a particular absence and Matt is viewing the same person, with the notes that they say that would says who is looking at the person first, and that makes the other director hold up, or what?
How would that work? Justin. He's working on it.
Yeah. We're going to have to see them an email message in different screens. Choice of hashtag approve, hashtag reject.
Yeah.
And that's what you're working on.
So while he's still working on that, we've tried to mimic our manual process forms, the employee change form and the position authorization form. So really those forms, we've taken a lot of that information off those forms, and we've tried to mimic that in our processes here. So everything that we've been doing manually is still, we're going to be doing it, but it's now online. So all of the authorities that need to sign off on a manual form will have to approve the form now. So how we've set up for the job, I call it the requisition, when you want to request a job. This is how we set it up, the hiring manager. For example, with children's services, it may be Dion, and then Dion, it'll go to Robin, then it'll come to me, then Jim and Dr. Craig. But to make an offer, it starts with Robin. So it's a little bit different there because the thought process is where Dion, she's going to be the one to say, I want to make an offer for this position, so she doesn't need to approve it. We need Robin to actually approve it, and then it goes to myself. And I think because Jim and Dr. Craig already approved beforehand, just myself at that point.
Okay, so Appella wanted me to show you how to, what it will look like when you are an approver for either a job or offer approval requests. So after someone has submitted a job or offer approval request, Appella will review that and route that through the necessary approvers. And so I am one of the approvers for this offer approval request here. So I've received an offer approval request from Mary Swanson. When you receive a approval request email, it'll have it'll have resources that are attached, and you have two ways you can approve or deny this. You can simply click the hyperlink in the body of the email, and that will take you to the offer or job details request, depending on what kind of request it is. And then remember, in order to approve this, you would select approve this, or deny, you would select deny. Or there's another way that you can these are enabled with our smart commands. So whenever there are emails that are enabled with smart commands, you'll see that in the footer of the email is the available commands. So I can, for this offer approval request, I can review everything directly in my email, and then I want to approve this, so I will simply reply to the email with approve, with pound approve. And so once by doing that, I've now given my approval. It'll flow back into Newton and update that approval record accordingly. Any other questions on that or anything else?
Yeah, the group did have one or two more questions, Justin. It pertained to, let's say we have a job that's open, we're recruiting for, and I send that out to two managers. There are two hiring managers for that position. And that situation will occur with like our release position. So when I send that request out to those two different managers, if one of the managers denies that or decline that position or that candidate, does that affect that other manager, hiring manager?
So it sounds like you have some positions where you have multiple hiring managers.
Well, definitely with our release position.
And what was the question there?
If one of the hiring manager does not want to pursue that candidate, will that affect the process of that remaining manager pursuing that candidate?
So whenever, in that situation where there's two hiring managers for one position and they both receive a review request, if one were to inactivate that candidate, that is doing it for that candidate for both of them. So if I'm the hiring manager, I inactivate, red means no, I inactivate them. That candidate is now inactivated. If I move forward them and put them into the schedule phone screen stage, that will be reflected on the other hiring manager's Newton account as well, that a candidate has been moved into the schedule phone screen stage.
We'll post two jobs. We'll post a relief for POP and a relief for MI. If that candidate applies for relief and you decide you want to send them to both, they independently are tracking that person.
Okay, that's not how we have it now, but that's what we'll do. We have just one release requisition out there, but we'll do it that way. I think we've already answered that question, Justin.
I'm sorry, you were cutting out. What was that?
We got the answer to that question.
Okay, are there any other questions I can help out with?
If you're a manager, like let's say Brian at UCC, is he going to also be a manager, or is everything, because I supervise him, going to come to me, and then can I forward it to him?
For like Susan's position,
Or anything.
or UCC, or he's going to be the hiring manager, you're going to be the step out for him.
Oh, okay. So we'll have more than just this room for a hiring manager.
This is just like on the position authorization form now for the program director.
Okay.
So Brian doesn't fill that form out. If he does, you have to sign for it, not Brian. With the same mindset.
Okay.
But on that form, what we've added to it is what's called hiring manager. That's the critical element. If you don't fill that out, we're assuming that means you're hiring this person.
Okay.
You'll get all the stuff. If you put Brian Lucas's name in, he'll get all the things.
Okay.
But you are the one who has to approve it to get started.
Jackie, did we answer your question?
Are there any other questions that I can help out with here today?
I think Jim. No other questions for Justin? I think that's it, Justin.
Okay, one last thing I wanted to share with you here today is that any page you're on in Newton, you'll see that there is a Help tab in your top navigation. By clicking on that, that'll open our knowledge base. And the landing page will show a lot of commonly asked questions. and you'll see that this is totally searchable. So if I wanted to learn more about email templates, I can go ahead and type in email templates. That'll show me the articles that are related to that. And you'll see that our support team has done an amazing job in building out articles on pretty much everything you can do in Newton. You'll see that there's step-by-step processes, including screenshots. So this is a very helpful resource for you and as you learn and start using Newton more. Beyond that, your admin is Apella, and she's a good resource for you. And I'm also your customer success manager. And if you need any additional assistance, I'm here to help as well. Remember, I have recorded this training. I'll be sending the recording to Apella, so you can refer back to this at your leisure. And thanks again for your time and for being a Newton customer. Have a nice rest of your day. Take care.
Thank you, Justin.